Vapi.ai, AI voice agents and phone automation. Script. Picture this. It's Friday at 5:47 p.m., you're wrapping up for the weekend, and your phone rings. You pick it up. It's a hot lead who just landed on your website, loved what they saw, and wants to book a call, right now. But here's the thing. You didn't pick up that call because you were busy, or it was after hours, or you were on the other line, and that lead? They called your competitor instead. What if I told you there's a way to answer every single call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with an AI voice agent that sounds so human your callers won't even know it's not you? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build AI voice agents for your business, for customer support, for sales qualification, and even for outbound calling. Not theory, real working systems that my clients are using right now to handle over 1,000 calls a week. Let's get into it. Here's a stat that blew my mind when I first saw it. 88% of callers say they'd rather talk to an AI that gives them a quick answer than wait on hold for a human. Think about that for a second. Your customers don't actually care who answers the phone. They care about getting their problem solved fast. And right now, the average small business misses somewhere between 30% and 60% of its inbound calls. People call during lunch, after hours, on weekends, or when your team is already on another line. Every one of those missed calls is either a frustrated customer or a lost sale. Voice AI has crossed a threshold in the last 6 months that most business owners haven't caught up with yet. The voices are indistinguishable from human. The latency, the pause between when someone speaks and when the AI responds, is now under 800 milliseconds, which is actually faster than most human conversations. And the cost? We're talking about 12 cents per minute. Not per call, per minute. That means a 10-minute customer support call costs you about $1.20. Compare that to paying a full-time receptionist or support agent, and the math gets very compelling very quickly. Voice AI isn't just a cool toy anymore. It's a genuine competitive advantage, and the businesses that adopt it now are going to have a massive head start. So what does the tech stack actually look like? There are 4 main pieces you need, and I want to walk you through each one so you understand how they fit together. The first piece is the phone infrastructure, and that's where Twilio comes in. Twilio gives you a phone number in the cloud that can receive and make calls programmatically. When a call comes in, Twilio fires what's called a webhook, basically an HTTP request, to whatever system you've configured to handle it. It also handles all the messy telecom stuff like SIP, PSTN, and carrier interconnects that you absolutely do not want to deal with yourself. The second piece is the voice engine, and this is where ElevenLabs comes in. This is the part that actually generates the spoken voice that the caller hears. ElevenLabs has gotten so good that most people cannot tell the difference between their AI voices and a real human. You can clone a voice, create a custom voice from scratch, or use one of their pre-built voices. The third piece is the AI brain, the part that understands what the caller is saying and decides how to respond. You've got a few options here. Vapi.ai gives you a no-code platform where you can drag and drop a voice agent together in about an hour. Or, if you want more control, you can use OpenAI's Realtime API with GPT-4o, which gives you direct access to the model with incredibly low latency. The fourth piece is where this all connects to your business, your CRM, your calendar, your ticketing system. That's the integration layer, and we'll get deep into that later in the video. Let me walk you through building an actual customer support voice agent. This is the one I recommend starting with because it provides immediate value and it's the easiest to justify to your team or your boss. Here's the flow. A customer calls your business number. Twilio receives the call and fires a webhook to your voice agent platform, let's say Vapi.ai. The agent picks up and greets the caller with something like, "Thanks for calling, this is Alex, how can I help you today?" Notice I gave the agent a name. That small touch makes a huge difference in how callers perceive the interaction. The agent then listens to what the customer says and classifies their intent. Are they asking about business hours? The agent answers instantly. Do they need to reset a password? The agent walks them through it. Are they calling about a billing issue? The agent captures the details and either resolves it on the spot or creates a ticket in your help desk system. Here's the key thing that most people get wrong. You don't build a rigid script. You build a conversation flow with branches. The AI needs to be able to handle interruptions, tangents, and follow-up questions naturally. When I build these, I typically map out about 15 to 20 different conversation paths, covering the most common scenarios. For the edge cases, maybe 5% of calls, the agent recognizes it's out of its depth and smoothly transfers to a human with a full summary of what's been discussed so far. The caller never has to repeat themselves. That alone is worth the price of admission. Now let's talk about the sales qualification agent, because this is where things get really interesting. This agent does outbound calling. It proactively reaches out to leads that have come into your CRM. Picture this. A new lead fills out a form on your website. Your CRM captures it and fires a webhook. That webhook triggers the voice agent to call the lead, usually within 2 to 5 minutes of the form submission, when the lead is still warm and actively thinking about your product. The agent introduces itself, mentions the form they filled out, and starts a qualification conversation. It asks questions like, what prompted you to reach out today? What's your timeline for making a decision? What's your budget range? And who else is involved in this decision? All the standard BAYANT qualification questions that a human SDR would ask. But here's the magic. The AI is listening and adapting in real time. If the lead mentions a specific pain point, the agent probes deeper on that. If the lead says they need something fast, the agent prioritizes booking an immediate meeting. At the end of the call, the lead gets scored, hot, warm, or cold, and that score gets written back to your CRM. Hot leads get a meeting booked on your calendar immediately. Warm leads get added to a nurturing sequence with a follow-up email summarizing the call. Cold leads get tagged for future outreach. One of my clients runs this exact system, and it's booking 40 to 50 qualified meetings a month, completely hands-off. Integration is what separates a toy from a tool. If your voice agent can't talk to your CRM, your calendar, and your help desk, it's just an expensive answering machine. Let me show you how this works in practice. Most modern CRMs, HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, Close, all have webhook capabilities. When a new lead enters the system, the CRM fires a webhook to your voice agent platform with the lead's name, phone number, company, and any custom fields you've configured. The voice agent uses that context to personalize the call from the very first sentence. After the call, everything flows back the other direction. The call recording gets stored in the CRM against that contact's record. The transcript is saved. The lead score is updated. Any notes the agent took during the call, pain points mentioned, objections raised, competitors mentioned, all get written back as structured data. If a meeting was booked, it appears on your calendar with the full context in the meeting notes. If a support ticket was created, it shows up in your help desk with the call transcript attached. The integration layer is where you connect Vapi or your custom solution to your CRM via API calls or webhooks. I use make.com for a lot of this because it gives you a visual builder to wire everything together without writing code. But if you're comfortable with code, you can write these integration points directly in Python or Node.js. Either way, the goal is the same. Your voice agent should be a seamless extension of your existing business workflows, not a disconnected island. One of the biggest fears business owners have about voice AI is, what happens when the caller gets angry or raises an objection that the AI can't handle? This is a legitimate concern, and it's why handling objections and transfers properly is the most important part of building these agents. Let me give you the framework I use. For objections, you train the agent with what I call objection response pairs. Price objection. The agent explains the value and ROI, and if the caller pushes back a second time, it offers to connect them with a human. Time objection. I'm too busy right now. The agent offers to send a link for a quick demo they can watch later and asks permission to follow up in 3 days. Trust objection. The agent shares relevant testimonials and offers to connect them with an existing customer for a reference call. For angry or frustrated callers, the protocol is simple. Empathize first, then transfer. The agent should say something like, "I completely understand your frustration, and I want to make sure this gets resolved properly. Let me connect you with someone on our team who can help right now." Notice the agent doesn't try to handle a truly angry customer. It recognizes the limitation and escalates immediately. The transfer itself should be warm, meaning the human agent gets a screen pop with the caller's information and a summary of the conversation so far. I'll also add one more thing here. Always build an escalation path. At any point in the conversation, if the caller says, "Let me talk to a real person," or hits a keyword like manager or supervisor, the agent should transfer immediately with no friction. Never trap a caller in an AI loop. That's the fastest way to lose a customer. You can't improve what you don't measure, and voice agents are no exception. Every call your AI agent handles generates a goldmine of data. Call recordings, transcripts, sentiment scores, resolution rates, transfer rates, and caller satisfaction ratings. I recommend setting up a dashboard that tracks at least 5 key metrics. First, containment rate. What percentage of calls does the AI handle completely without human intervention? A good target is 70% or higher. Second, transfer rate. What percentage of calls get escalated to a human? If this is above 30%, your conversation flows need work. Third, average handle time. How long is the average call? Fourth, caller sentiment. Are people getting frustrated during the call? Fifth, post-call satisfaction. If you're sending a quick SMS survey after each call, and you should be, what's the rating? The other critical piece of monitoring is regular call reviews. I block out 30 minutes every Monday morning to listen to a random sample of 5 to 10 calls from the previous week. I'm listening for things the AI got wrong, moments of friction, opportunities to improve the conversation flow, and any new customer questions or objections that have started popping up. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it tool. Voice agents get better over time, but only if you're actively monitoring and refining them. The first version you deploy is going to handle about 60% of calls well. By week 4, with consistent monitoring and tweaking, you should be at 80% or above. I want to share some real numbers from a client of mine who runs a mid-sized home services business. Before Voice AI, they had 2 full-time receptionists handling about 800 calls a week. They were still missing roughly 200 calls every week, calls that came in after hours, during lunch breaks, or when both receptionists were already on calls. We deployed a Voice AI agent using Twilio, Vapi, and ElevenLabs, integrated with their Service Titan CRM. Here are the results after the first full month. They're now handling over 1,200 calls per week. That's every call, including the ones they used to miss. 73% of those calls are handled completely by the AI with no human involvement. The average cost per call? 8 cents, not $8, 8 cents. And caller satisfaction? 4.2 out of 5 stars based on post-call surveys. The business owner didn't fire their receptionists, they redeployed them. Now those 2 human team members handle the complex calls, the angry customers, and the high-value sales conversations that the AI flags for transfer. They're happier because they're not doing repetitive work, and the business is capturing revenue it was previously leaving on the table. That's the real power of this technology. It's not about replacing people, it's about making your existing team dramatically more effective. I've built and deployed dozens of these voice agents over the last year, and I've made pretty much every mistake you can make. Let me save you the pain. Mistake number 1, not testing with real human conversations first. You cannot test a voice agent by typing to it. You have to actually call it with different voices, different accents, different background noise levels, and different speaking speeds. What works beautifully in text often falls apart when someone has a thick regional accent or is calling from a noisy construction site. Mistake 2. Ignoring audio quality. If your agent's voice sounds robotic or tinny, or if there's noticeable latency, callers will hang up. Invest the time to tune your voice settings properly. Mistake 3. Building a script instead of a conversation flow. A rigid script with fixed responses will fail the moment a caller goes off script, and callers always go off script. Build flexible conversation branches. Mistake 4. No clear escalation path. If a caller gets stuck in an AI loop with no way to reach a human, you've just created a terrible customer experience. Always build a transfer option. Mistake 5. Over-promising. Don't tell callers your AI agent can do things it can't. If it can't process refunds, say so upfront and offer to connect them with someone who can. Mistake 6. Not monitoring. Voice agents are not fire and forget. If you're not reviewing calls and iterating on your conversation flows every week, your agent will stagnate and your customers will notice. Voice AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's here, it's affordable, and it's ready for your business right now. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur who can't afford a receptionist, a growing team that's drowning in support calls, or an established business looking to scale your outbound sales without hiring an army of SDRs, voice agents are the most underrated automation tool available today. The technology has crossed the threshold where it's good enough, actually better than good enough, and the businesses that adopt it now are going to have a massive advantage over the ones that wait. If you want to see exactly how I build these, the step-by-step configurations, the conversation flows, the integrations, and I've put together a complete guide with templates you can use. Check the link in the description. Your customers are calling right now. The only question is whether AI is going to answer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.